Good morning, students. So from previous lectures we are studying the chapter 2nd, morphology of the reproductive parts. Now we are going to study the second point from this chapter, that is the flower after inflorescence. So in previous lectures we studied the inflorescence, and after completion of inflorescence, from this lecture we are going to study the flower. So flower is one of the reproductive part of the plant. So in this lecture, the morphology of the flower we are going to study here. So first is the introduction and the definition of the flower. The flower is a highly modified shoot bearing specialized floral leaves. So these specialized floral leaves are calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. It is a highly modified shoot. So plant, instead of producing the leaves and lateral branches, start to produce the flower. So this is the switching off from vegetative phase to the reproductive phase of the plant. So the formation of flower is the sign of starting of reproductive growth. So flower is a highly modified shoot bearing specialized floral leaves. These are the floral parts of the flower. The axis of the flower is condensed to form thalamus, commonly bearing 4 holes of the floral parts. So the tip or the apex of the flower bears the thalamus, on which the 4 different parts of the 4 different floral parts has been arranged. These are called calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Okay. So the axis of the flower is condensed to form thalamus, commonly bearing 4 holes of the floral parts. Calyx, individual part is sepal. Corolla, individual part is petal. Androecium, individual part stamen. Gynoecium, individual part carpel. Okay. So these 4 floral holes named as calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium that has been formed on the thalamus. The individual member of these is sepals, petals, stamens and carpels. Okay. In some plants, the calyx and corolla may not be differentiated and represented by a single or 2 similar holes of perianth. So in some plant what happen, this calyx and corolla is not get differentiated. So under such condition, a term we use is the perianth, and the individual member of the perianth, it is the tepal. Okay. When the condition is such that when there is no differentiation between the calyx and corolla, then the perianth has been present and individual member, it is called as tepals. Okay. So it is a term that has been formerly restricted to petal like perianth of monocots, but here we are using this term in the case when there is no differentiation between calyx and corolla, it is perianth and the individual member is tepal. The flower is usually carried on a pedicel and may or may not be subtended by a reduced leaf known as bract. So flower, the stalk of the flower, it is called as the pedicel, on which the flower has been present. It may be or may not be subtended by a reduced leaf-like structure known as the bract. So a reduced leaf-like structure that has been present at the base of pedicel, it is called as the bract. The bract, it is the leaf-like structure. So pedicel may sometimes carry small bracteoles if present, usually 2 in dicots and 1 in monocots. So bracteoles, these are like the bract, but they are small in size. So when a small leaf-like structure has been present, which is smaller than the size of the flower, it is called as the bracteole. And if this bracteole has been present, these are 2 in dicots and 1 in monocot. So flower having a stalk called as the pedicel. It also bears a reduced leaf-like structure known as bract. Sometimes it may carry small bracteoles. Okay. Now the definition of the flower. So flower is defined as a highly modified and condensed shoot of limited growth and specialized for sexual reproduction and formation of fruit and seed. So as you know that it is a highly modified, specialized structure, condensed shoot of limited growth meant for sexual reproduction and formation of fruit and seeds. So all these functions has been performed by the flower. So in case of flowering plants, for example angiosperm, the flower is meant for sexual reproduction, which is highly modified, condensed shoot of limited growth, and it is specialized for sexual reproduction and formation of fruit and seeds. So this is about the flower. The flower is highly modified shoot bearing specialized floral leaves. The axis of the flower is condensed to form the thalamus, and it bears 4 floral parts, that is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. The individual members are sepals, petals, stamens and carpels. In some plant, calyx and corolla may not be differentiated and represented by a perianth. The individual member is tepals. The flower, the stalk of the flower, it is called as the pedicel, on which the flower is usually carried. It may or may not be subtended by a reduced leaf-like structure known as the bract. A small bracteole sometimes has been present. If present, it is 2 in dicot and 1 in monocot. So flower is defined as the highly modified, condensed shoot of limited growth and specialized for sexual reproduction and formation of fruit and seeds. Okay, so this is about the introduction and definition of the flower. Now the parts of a typical flower. So typical flower consists of pedicel, bract, thalamus, floral holes like calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So these are the parts of the typical flower. So typical flower consists of pedicel, which is the stalk of the flower, then the thalamus, which is the swollen base of the flower. It has been present at the apex or the tip of the pedicel. Next to this is the presence of the calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. The individual part is sepals, petals, stamens and carpels. So these are the parts of a typical flower. So one by one we are going to study the parts of a typical flower. The first one part, it is the pedicel. As I was previously told that the stalk of a flower, it is called as the pedicel. So it is like the stalk of the leaf, we call it as a petiole. Stalk of the leaf, it is a petiole, and the stalk of the flower, it is pedicel. So stalk of a flower is called as the pedicel, on which all 4 floral parts has been arranged, that is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. A flower with pedicel is known as pedicellate flower or stalked flower. A flower with pedicel. A flower without pedicel is known as sessile flower, for example tuberose. So pedicel is one of the criteria by which we can differentiate the different flower as the pedicellate flower and sessile flower. A flower with pedicel, if the pedicel is present, then the flower is pedicellate flower. If the pedicel is absent, a flower without pedicel, it is known as sessile. So a flower with pedicel is known as pedicellate or stalked flower, for example hibiscus. A flower without pedicel is known as sessile flower, for example tuberose. So in this figure we can see this, the pedicel has been present, so this flower is a pedicellate flower, because a stalk of a flower we call it as a pedicel, and if the flower is with pedicel, then the flower is a pedicellate flower or stalked flower. Okay, and if the flower is without pedicel, is known as sessile flower. Next to this is the bract. So flowers may be subtended by a specialized leaf-like structure called as the bract. So this bract has been present here at the base of the flower, at the base of the pedicel. So the flower that has been attached to the branch or the stem of the plant. So in the axil of the pedicel and the stem, a leaf-like structure has been present. It is called as the bract. So flower may be subtended by a specialized leaf-like structure called as bract. It is leaf-like structure. If bract is present, the flower is called as bracteate flower. And if bract is absent, the flower is called ebracteate flower. Or a flower without bract, it is called as ebracteate flower. Ebracteate flower. Okay. So bract is a leaf-like structure present at the base of the pedicel. Okay. So this is about the pedicel and bract. Pedicel is the stalk of the flower. If present, flower is pedicellate. If flower is without pedicel, it is known as sessile flower. Okay. If bract is present, the flower is bracteate flower. If it is not, the flower is ebracteate. So bract is a specialized leaf-like structure present in the axil of pedicel and leaf, in the axil of pedicel and stem. Okay, that is called as the bract. Now the thalamus. So thalamus is present at the apex or tip of the pedicel. So apex or the tip of the pedicel, which bears a slightly swollen portion, swollen portion, that is called as the thalamus. The meaning of the swollen in Marathi we can say that the फुगलेला पार्ट की जो पेडिसेलच्या वरती आहे, that is called as the thalamus. हा जो फुगलेला पार्ट दिसतो आपल्याला, that is called as thalamus. So thalamus is present at the apex or tip of the pedicel, which is slightly swollen. It bears floral leaves. These are calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. These are the floral parts, floral holes, floral leaves called as calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. The thalamus is also known as the receptacle or torus. When the thalamus is condensed, disc-like, flat, so under such condition this thalamus is called as the receptacle or torus, for example in sunflower. Okay, so what is the thalamus? The thalamus is the swollen portion of the flower present at the apex or tip of the pedicel. Swollen portion of the flower present at the apex or tip of the pedicel, which is slightly swollen, is called as thalamus. The thalamus may be conical, convex, flat or concave in some plants. So these are the various shapes of the thalamus. In some plant the thalamus is conical, convex, flat or concave. The thalamus has nodes and internodes. The internodes are usually condensed and not distinct, but in some flower internodes are elongated. So these flowers we are studied one by one in the next slides. The flower shows 4 nodes and 3 internodes. The internode between calyx and corolla is known as anthophore. So the internode, it is an elongated portion that has been present between calyx and corolla. It is called as anthophore. So the flower shows 4 nodes and 3 internodes. This thalamus also has nodes and internodes. The internodes are usually condensed and not distinct, but in some flower the internodes are elongated. Okay, so here the thalamus, it is the apex or tip of the pedicel which is slightly swollen. It bears the floral parts such as calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. The thalamus in some plant may be conical, concave, convex or flat. So this is about the thalamus. Next, so this is the floral holes. So a flower bears 4 types of floral holes. These are calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Individual members are sepals. So these are the sepals. Then petals. These are stamens and these are the carpels. Okay. So this calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium are arranged on the thalamus in an ascending order. Ascending order. So when we go from outside towards inner side, the sequence is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So this is the sequence in ascending order. So calyx, it is the outermost floral part. Next to this is the corolla. Next to this is the androecium, and at towards inner side it is gynoecium. Okay. So these four floral parts are arranged in ascending order as calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. The individual member: calyx, sepals; corolla, petals; androecium, stamens; gynoecium, carpels. Okay. The calyx and corolla are the outermost, accessory or non-essential and supporting holes. So this calyx and corolla, they are outermost. Okay. So these are arranged in ascending order. So they comes towards the outer side. So the calyx and corolla are outermost, accessory or non-essential. They are not required for reproduction. They are not directly involved in the process of reproduction. So they support the inner holes of the flower, they protect the inner holes of the flowers, but they do not directly involved in the reproduction. The calyx and corolla, these are mainly attractive, colorful, so they attract the pollinating agent during the process of pollination. So they are having a supporting role, but they are not directly involved in reproduction. So these are referred as accessory or non-essential and supporting holes. While the androecium and gynoecium, so in this flower there are 5 stamens, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. These 5 stamens, and there is a one gynoecium. So here the carpels inside the gynoecium we can see after the taking the TS of the ovary. So androecium and the gynoecium are the inner and necessary or essential holes of the flower. They are required for the process of reproduction. So they are essential hole because we know that the flower is a contained shoot mainly meant for reproduction. And these are the reproductive parts of the flower, that is androecium and gynoecium. So these are present towards the inner side, inner and essential or necessary holes of the flower. So this is the floral holes: calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Okay. So if you see the androecium, it consists of anther, connective and filament. If you see the gynoecium, it consists of stigma, style and ovary. Okay. When all the 4 sets of holes are present in a flower, for example, all the 4 means calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium, all these 4 holes are present in a flower, it is known as complete flower. If any one of these is absent or missing, it is called incomplete flower. Okay. So all the 4 holes or parts has been present in a flower, that flower is a complete flower. And if any one of these is missing or absent, it is called as incomplete flower. So in this diagram we can see this, all the 4 floral parts, that is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So this flower is a complete flower. Suppose in this flower if any one part is missing, suppose the calyx is not there, then we say that this flower is a incomplete flower. Okay. Suppose in this only the gynoecium has been present, then such flower is a incomplete flower. Okay. So these are the floral holes: calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Individual members are, if one can ask about the calyx, so how many calyx has been present, so we have to count the sepal. We have to show him the sepals. Here 4 sepals has been present. Suppose one can ask about the corolla, how many corolla, how many petals? 1, 2, 3 petals are present. How many stamens? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Androecium, stamens, gynoecium, carpels. So the number of carpels we can see after the taking the TS of the ovary. The carpels are the compartment that has been found in the ovary. Okay. So this is the floral holes. Now we are going for the internode that has been present between the different floral holes or floral parts. The first one is the androphore. The androphore is the second internode between corolla and androecium. So here is the corolla, this one is the androecium, 5 stamens we can see here. So the androphore is the internode, it is the portion between corolla and androecium, that we called as the androphore. Andros means male, for example passiflora. So this is found in some flower only. So this androphore is present between the corolla and androecium. So it is the second internode between corolla and androecium. It is called as androphore, for example passiflora. So this is the picture of passiflora flower. Here also we can see the androphore. Here these are the stamens, 5 stamens are here. This is the corolla. So androphore is the internode. Suppose we say this is the node, okay, this is also the node. In between the node, the portion present, it is called as the internode. Suppose here we can see this is the node, okay, this one is the node, the portion between this, it is the internode. So androphore is the internode between corolla and androecium. For example, in passiflora, here these are the stamens, androecium, this is the corolla, and the portion in between this, I said it is a internode. So this internode, it is called as the androphore. So this is clearly seen in this picture, androphore, which is present in between corolla and androecium. Okay, for example passiflora. Next, so this is the gynophore. So gynophore is the third internode between androecium and gynoecium. Okay, so in the previous slide we seen that the second internode between corolla and androecium, it is androphore. The third internode between androecium and gynoecium, it is gynophore. Gynos means female, for example Capparis. So in this diagram we can see this is the androecium, this is the gynoecium. So the gynophore, it is present between androecium and gynoecium. It is the third internode between, internode, the portion between the two node, we call it as a internode. So it is the internode, third internode between androecium and gynoecium, is known as gynophore. For example Capparis. So this is the photograph of Capparis flower, where we can see the number of stamens, number of androecium. This is the gynoecium, and the gynophore is the third internode. So this portion, internode between androecium and gynoecium. So this is the node on which the androecium has been arranged. This is the node on which gynoecium is arranged. The portion between these two nodes, that is androecium and gynoecium, it is internode. So the third internode between androecium and gynoecium, it is gynophore. Okay, for example Capparis. Androphore is the second internode between corolla and androecium. Gynophore is the third internode between androecium and gynophore. Okay, now here a third one condition, gynandrophore. Both androphore and gynophore are present together in Gynandropsis flower. So it is known as gynandrophore or androgynophore. So what happened here in the Gynandropsis flower, both androphore, here androphore is the second internode between corolla and androecium. Okay, gynophore is the third internode between androecium and gynoecium. Okay, so in Gynandropsis both androphore and gynophore, they are present together. So it is known as gynandrophore or androgynophore. For example Gynandropsis. So what happened here in this picture, we can see this is the gynophore, this one is androphore, this is the corolla, this one is androecium. Okay, this is the androecium. So the internode between corolla and androecium, it is androphore. Here the internode between androecium and gynoecium, it is gynophore. So in Gynandropsis both androphore and gynophore, they are present together. It is known as gynandrophore or androgynophore. For example Gynandropsis. So the name given to this plant because of this specialized morphological character found in the flower, that is gynandrophore. So the name of the plant is Gynandropsis. Next is the carpophore. In Phoniculum and Coriandrum, the thalamus projects into the ovary and carpels remain fused to it. Separating at maturity, this prolongation of the thalamus is known as carpophore. So in funiculum and coreandrum, the thalamus which is present at the top or the apex of the pedicel, it get projected into the ovary. Okay. In the initial stage, the carpels are fused together, but separating at maturity. So this projection of the thalamus is known as the carpophore. Once again, I am going to repeat it. In funiculum and coreandrum, the thalamus which is present at the apex or the tip of the pedicel get projected into the ovary. It projects into the ovary. Okay. This prolongation of the thalamus is called as the carpophore, which bears carpels. In the initial stage they are fused, but at maturity they get separated. For example, funiculum. Here we can see this is the carpophore. It is the prolongation that arises from the pedicel. Okay. So generally thalamus is present on the at the tip or the apex of the pedicel, but in funiculum this thalamus get projected into the ovary. Okay. To which the carpels has been attached, and at maturity they get separated. Initially they are fused, but at maturity they get separated. So this portion of the thalamus, it is called as the carpophore. Why it is called as carpophore? Because the thalamus projects into the ovary, and this prolongation of the thalamus is known as carpophore. For example, funiculum. Okay. Now the symmetry of the flower. So the symmetry, actinomorphic, zygomorphic, asymmetric flower. So this symmetry we will study in the next lecture. Thank you. Stay home. Be safe.